Hello everyone, let's continue with this problem, RAM chip implementation. Okay, so RAM chip size is given as 512 into 2 bits. Okay, so how to represent this RAM chip? Firstly, let's see. So it is 512. Just a minute. So here it is 512 into 2 bits. So we can say here this area representing the number of columns inside the RAM chip, and this is what representing the number of rows. Number of row. So number of row, that will be 512. So 0, 1, 2 up to so on. It is 5, 11. Okay, 0 to 511, that is total 512. Okay, 2 bit means there will be two columns. So inside RAM chip, two columns will be there. Here let me say this is 0 and this one is 1. Okay, so this is what the structure of the RAM chip. Now we can find out the number of RAM chip required. So number of RAM chip required, that is the memory capacity divided by the size of RAM chip. So memory capacity is, that is 64 megabyte, 64 megabyte divided by the size of that RAM chip. RAM chip is 512 into 2 bit. Okay, so further this can be written as 64 megabyte. 64 megabyte, we can say it is 2 power 6 multiply by 2 power 20. Mega means 2 power 20 and byte means we can say 8 bit, so 2 power 3 bit. Okay, so 2 power 3 bits. And what about this one, 512? 512 means 2 power 9 multiply by 2 bits. Okay, so bits to bits cancel, and now it is 2 power 9 plus 1, 2 power 10, so 2 power 10 to cancel this one. So what is remaining? It is 10, 10 plus 6 is 16 and 19. So here it is 2 power 19 number of RAM chip required. Okay, so number of RAM chip required, that is 2 power 19. So is it clear to all? Yes. Is it clear to all? Okay. Okay, fine. Now let's see the second thing, that is the size of decoder required. How to find out the size of decoder required? So we can find out the size of decoder required by this one. So here it is 64 megabyte divided by 512 into 2 bit. Okay, so this is what representing the number of columns, this is what representing the number of row. Okay, so here number of columns will be byte means 8 bit, 8 bit divided by the 2 bit. So bit to bit cancel, 2 4 is 8, so here columns will be 4. So inside the RAM chip organization, sorry, memory organization, the number of columns will be 4. Okay, and what about the number of rows? Number of rows, that is 64 mega. 64 mega means 2 hour 6 into 2 power 20 divide by the 512, that is 2 power 9. So here it is 11, 11 plus 6 is 17, so 2 power 17, that is number of rows. Number of row will be 2 power 70, and with the help of number of row we can find out the size of decoder. So decoder size will be, size of decoder is what? It is 17 into 2 power, so this one is representing the number of input, so 17 into 2 power 17, this is what the size of decoder means. 17 there will be the input line, and 2 power 17 there will be the output lines. Okay, so this is what the size of decoder. So till this part it is clear or not? ओ ओके ओके, देखो जो बाइट वाला यूनिट वाला एरिया होता है ना, बाइट वाला है ना, तो ये 2 बिट है और ये 8 बिट है ना। तो ये वाला पोर्शन तो किसको दिया जाता है? कॉलम्स को दिया जाता है, और रिमेनिंग जो पोर्शन बच गया है ये वाला, ये रो के लिए होता है, नंबर ऑफ रो को डिसाइड करता है। ठीक है, गोट इट और नॉट? हाँ, यहाँ से हमने, हाँ कॉलम, कॉलम ये कहाँ पे काम आएगा? ये जब हम मेमोरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मैप बनाएंगे तो उसमें कितने कॉलम्स बनेंगे? 4 कॉलम्स बनेंगे। ठीक है, तो ये तो यहाँ से डिसाइड होगा, और जो रो है इससे क्या निकलेगा? रो से हम ये डिसाइड करेंगे डिकोडर का साइज, साइज ऑफ डिकोडर। ठीक है, तो जितने नंबर ऑफ रो आए हैं उनसे साइज ऑफ डिकोडर निकलेगा। गोट इट? Now let's see the memory organization map. Memory organization map. So here there will be 4 columns. Four columns, right? Okay, so this is what the 17 into 2 power 17, 17 into 2 power 17, that is the size of decoder. So 0 to 16 there will be the input line, and these are the output line. How many output lines? 2 power 17 output line. So 0, 0 to 2 power 17 minus 1. Okay, so these are the input lines, sorry, output lines. So here column number 0, 1, 2 and 3, total number of columns will be 4. And next thing, here this is what the RAM chip, another RAM chip is this one, this is the another RAM chip, this is what the another RAM chip, and so on. We'll fill up these RAM chips, right? And finally here also this is what a RAM chip, RAM chip, here this is the RAM chip, and this is what the RAM chip, and size of RAM chip is what, it is 512 into 2 bit, right? So 512 into 2 bit, that is the RAM chip size for all. ओके, इन सब का साइज क्या रहेगा 512 इंटू 2 बिट, एंड दिस इज व्हाट द मेमोरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मैप. फाइनली कंफर्म मी दिस इज क्लियर और नॉट. दिस इज द रैम चिप साइज. हमने क्या किया है, रैम्स को अरेंज किया है ना. ये जो चिप थी, ऐसी ऐसी रैम चिप थी, तो ये कितने रैम चिप लगेंगे यहाँ पे, ये सारे अरेंज कर रखे हैं हमने. ये रैम चिप को अरेंज कर रखा है यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना. यस. Okay, so we have done with the RAM chip implementation. Now let's see the next thing. So here we'll discuss about some of the basic terms. Okay, so one thing is loading. What is loading? Loading means it is the process of loading the program from secondary memory to main memory, right? So loading means it is the process of loading the program from secondary memory to the main memory. तो ये secondary memory है और ये main memory है. तो loading का मतलब क्या होता है, loading the program from secondary memory to the main memory. What who is responsible for loading? Loader is responsible. Okay, what about linking? Linking means establishing the link between all the modules. तो जितने भी modules होंगे उनके बीच में क्या करना, लिंकिंग कराना, राइट. सो लिंकिंग कराना, वो काम कौन करेगा, लिंकर, राइट. सो लिंकर इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर लिंकिंग. Now loading can be two types. One is static loading, another one is dynamic loading, right? So loading can be two types. One is static loading and another one is dynamic loading. Let's see the static loading firstly. So loading the program inside the main memory before execution, right? So static loading means loading the program inside main memory बिफोर द एग्जीक्यूशन. एग्जीक्यूशन से पहले ही क्या कर देंगे, लोड कर देंगे प्रोग्राम को मेन मेमोरी में. ओके, आफ्टर दैट नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, इट इज द इनएफिशिएंट यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ मल्टी प्रोग्रामिंग सिस्टम. This is what the inefficient utilization of multi-programming system. Why? Because already we have load the program inside the main memory, right? So not a better utilization for memory also, right? What about next thing? Next thing is execution is faster. Execution will be faster here. Why? Because the entire program is inside the main memory, so we no need to go to the taking one page from secondary memory to the main memory, right? Again and again. So that total program is inside the main memory, so we'll take the page from that one, right? So no need to go to the secondary memory again and again. It means execution will be faster. Corresponding static linking is required. If we are applying the static loading, right, then corresponding static linking is required. Okay, so this is about the static loading. So confirm me, static loading, that is clear to all? Yes, what about others? Okay. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, now let's see the next thing, that is the dynamic loading. So in case of dynamic loading, loading the program inside main memory on demand, right? So whenever there is a demand for the page, we will load the page inside the main memory. Okay, so it is on demand. Next thing, this is what the efficient utilization of main memory, because from secondary memory we are taking only that page which is required, right? Not the entire program. It means this is what the efficient utilization of main memory. Next thing, execution will be slower. Why? Because we are going to the secondary memory firstly, we are taking that page and coming to the main memory again and again, right? So in this process it will take time, so execution is what? Slower. Okay, so execution is slower. What about next thing? Majority of the practical implementation, that is a dynamic loading. So मेजोरिटी किसकी रहती है? मेजोरिटी में हम प्रैक्टिकली जो इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं वो क्या रहेगा? दैट इज द डायनेमिक लोडिंग. सो दिस इज व्हाट है स्टोरी ऑफ डायनेमिक लोडिंग. एंड corresponding dynamic loading, dynamic linking is required. Okay, corresponding dynamic loading, dynamic linking is required. Now confirm me, is it clear or not? Okay, fine. Okay, next is address binding. Now we'll discuss about the address binding. So address binding, that is the association of program instruction and data. This is what the association of program instruction and data to its actual physical लोकेशन, राइट? तो जो एक्चुअल फिजिकल लोकेशन रहेगा उसके साथ एसोसिएशन करना किसी प्रोग्राम का, वो क्या होता है? प्रोग्राम के इंस्ट्रक्शन या डेटा का, दैट इज नोन एज physical, that address binding. Okay, association of program instruction and data to its actual physical location, that is known as address binding. So address binding, that is a three type. One is a compile time address binding, another one is the load time address binding, and next is the execution time address binding. Okay, so let's see the first one, that is compile time address binding. Compile time address binding, that address binding is done before loading the program. Compile time address binding means address binding is done before loading the program inside the main memory. यानी कि कंपाइल जब कर रहे होंगे तभी ये एड्रेस बाइंडिंग की जाएगी, राइट? एंड ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम नीड टू इंटरेक्ट विद ए memory manager. So in this case, in compile time address binding, operating system need to interact with memory manager. Next, compiler is responsible for compile time address binding, right? Compiler is responsible for compile time address binding. So is it fine? Compile time address binding, is it clear to all? Okay, fine. Now let's see the next one, that is the load time address binding. Load time address binding. So this type of address binding is done after loading the program inside main memory. Okay, so इस तरह की जो एड्रेस बाइंडिंग होगी वो कब की जाएगी? दैट इज डन आफ्टर लोडिंग द प्रोग्राम इनसाइड द मेन मेमोरी. सो फर्स्टली क्या किया जाएगा? प्रोग्राम को मेन मेमोरी में लोड किया जाएगा, राइट? तो प्रोग्राम को फर्स्टली मेन मेमोरी में लोड किया जाएगा, उसके बाद एड्रेस बाइंडिंग की जाएगी, राइट? एंड लोडर इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस टाइप ऑफ एड्रेस बाइंडिंग. सो कौन रिस्पॉन्सिबल रहेगा? सो रिस्पॉन्सिबल पर्सन इज लोडर. लोडर इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर this type address binding. Okay, so this is what the story of load time address binding. Now let's see the third one, that is the execution time address binding. So address binding is postponed even after loading the program inside main memory. Okay, so here address binding is postponed even after loading the program inside main memory. Program will keep on changing their memory location, right? Program will keep on changing its memory location, right? Keep on changing the memory location, and this type of address binding is done during the execution. So during execution we will perform this type address binding. Okay, so who is the responsible person? CPU is responsible for this address binding. And what is the practical majority? Practical majority is execution time address binding. And this is what the story of execution time address binding. Now confirm me, load time address binding and execution time address binding, the both are clear or not? Okay, clear, fine. Okay, so next one is the memory management techniques. So memory management techniques, one is the contiguous memory management techniques, another one is the non-contiguous memory management techniques, right? So memory management techniques, there are two types. One is the contiguous memory management techniques, another one is non-contiguous memory management technique. So in the contiguous memory management techniques, one is the fixed partition scheme and another one is the variable partition scheme. One is the fixed partition scheme, another one is the variable partition scheme. What about the non-contiguous memory management techniques? So non-contiguous memory management technique, one is the paging, multi-level paging, inverted paging, segmentation and segmented paging. So these are the major paging. But in case of UGC NET exam, we require the only paging. Okay, so these are the two types of memory management technique, that is contiguous and non-contiguous. Is it clear to all? Yes. Clear. Okay, fine. Okay, let me share. Yes, this one. Done. This one. Okay. So next is a fixed partition scheme. Okay, so we'll discuss about the contiguous memory management techniques, that is the fixed partition scheme. So here these are the partitions given. Okay, partitions are given as 50 kilobyte, 100 kilobyte, 250 kilobyte, 150 kilobyte, 150 kilobyte, 300 kilobyte, 70 kilobyte, 170 kilobyte, 200 kilobyte. So these are the partitions given. So we can make the partitions like this is the first partition, second partition. So total partition 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 9 partitions are there. So it is 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. 9 partitions are there. And here this is what the partition size 50 kilobyte. Here this is what 100 kilobyte, 100 kilobyte, 250 kilobyte, then 150 kilobyte and 300 kilobyte, 300 kilobyte, 70 kilobyte, 170 kilobyte, 200 kilobyte. Okay, so these are the partitions. Just a minute. Now what will happen? So these are the fixed number of partitions. Number of partitions are fixed, that is total 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. 8 number of partitions are there. Okay, and assume that there is a request P1, process P1 is coming, and its a demand is 20 kilobyte. Its a demand is 20 kilobyte. Okay, so we can store this 20 kilobyte here in first partition. 20 kilobyte process, that is P1 assume. So here 30 kilobyte is remaining. Okay, 30 kilobyte is remaining. And next process, that is P2. P2 is the next process, that is of 350 kilobyte. 350 kilobyte, right? So can we satisfy this request 350 kilobyte? So maximum partition size is 300 kilobyte, so we cannot satisfy this request. We cannot satisfy this request. Okay, and first request we have satisfied, but 30 kilobyte is remaining, right? So here this 30 kilobyte partition 30 kilobyte is remaining. Can we utilize this 30 kilobyte? No, we cannot utilize. So this is what this is known as internal fragmentation. Internal fragmentation. It means that fixed partition scheme suffering from internal fragmentation. Another thing, we cannot satisfy the request which is greater than the largest partition size, right? So we cannot satisfy this request. Now tell me, till this part it is clear or not? clear. Okay, fine. Now let's see some of the points. So first point is the memory is divided into fixed number of partition. Means here number of partition will be fixed, right? So number of partitions are, size is not fixed but number of partitions are fixed. So number of partitions are 8 here. Okay. Then second point, number of partitions are fixed, not about the size vary karega, right? What about next thing, one partition can accommodate one process, one partition that can accommodate only one process. इसका मतलब यहाँ पे 20 किलोबाइट है ना, तो इसका मतलब रिमेनिंग जो बच गया दैट इज व्हाट, इंटरनल फ्रेगमेंटेशन. And next thing, maximum size of the process that is restricted by the maximum partition size. So maximum size process that is restricted by the maximum partition size. maximum partition size कितना है, 300 किलोबाइट. सो इससे ऊपर वाली सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर सकते. नेक्स्ट थिंग, डिग्री ऑफ मल्टी प्रोग्रामिंग इज रिस्ट्रिक्टेड बाय नंबर ऑफ पार्टीशंस. नंबर ऑफ पार्टीशंस से क्या हो जाएगी, डिग्री ऑफ मल्टी प्रोग्रामिंग रिस्ट्रिक्टेड हो जाएगी. नेक्स्ट थिंग, इट इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम इंटरनल फ्रेगमेंटेशन. यहाँ पे इंटरनल फ्रेगमेंटेशन से सफ़र करेंगे. एंड लिमिट रजिस्टर आर बीइंग यूज्ड, एक अपर और एक लोअर लिमिट रजिस्टर. तो यहाँ पे अपर रजिस्टर होएगा, ये लोअर लिमिट रजिस्टर.